The May vote has already been billed as a bitter face-off between pro-EU liberals determined to reform the bloc and far-right populists who want to strip Brussels of its main powers. In my opinion, the most probable hypothesis is the one: the real populist breakthrough in the face of weakened European forces. Mr. Moscovici, a French leftist, told the television channel CNews, "Brussels inevitably falls sick whenever pro-Europeans don't get on," he continued, as he deplored the deep divisions lingering within the bloc's social democratic groups. EU Commissioner for Economic and Financial Affairs Pierre Moscovici, Getty Images. The French president's plans to revive Europe failed to convince his conservative rivals. Getty Images. The elections, which are to be held on May 23 to 26, are already shaping up to be a heated battle between pro-EU liberals who want to deepen integration and far-right and populist groups made up of eurosceptics who have pledged to upend the status quo and restore national sovereignty, but anti-EU parties are poised to take a third of the seats in the May vote and could form alliances to undermine the bloc from within. A report published last month showed anti-establishment groups could join forces to block or curb EU legislation if they win some 33% of the 705 seats, the European Council on Foreign Relations think tank warned. In its report, such fears have prompted EU liberals to ramp up their election campaigns in an effort to outdo their populist rivals. François-Xavier Bellamy, leader of the Les Républicains party, Getty Images, in a newspaper column published in each of the 28 member states last week, France's Europhile President Emmanuel Macron laid out his ideas for a European renaissance ahead of May vote, as he warned against a resurgence in nationalist sentiment, calling the vote decisive, and warning of a Europe in danger. His words were intended as a wake-up call for the bloc, an initiative welcomed by Mr. Moscovici. In the European sphere, Mr. Macron deserves credit for the fact his vision for Europe is neither shy nor shameful, he said, adding that he backed the French centrists' call for a Europe that protects. Europe has never been as necessarily since World War II as it is now, and yet never has Europe been in such danger. Nationalism offers nothing. It is a project of rejection. Mr. Macron wrote as he urged European citizens not to back populist factions, but the French president's plans to revive Europe failed to convince his conservative rivals, telling voters that the only alternative to his La République En Marche (LREM) party is chaos will actually open the door to more chaos. François-Xavier Bellamy, leader of the Les Républicains party's list for the EU elections, told France's weekly journal Du Dimanche (JDD), Mr. Macron is pursuing a policy of fear, he said, as he accused the ex-banker of demonizing the bloc's far-right populists. But Mr. Macron still has some convincing to do if he hopes to turn the populist tide in time for the crunch vote. The EU elections determine who leads the key institutions, including the European Commission. Getty Images. France's far-right leader Marine Le Pen. Getty Images. His centrist LREM party is neck and neck with far-right leader Marine Le Pen's Rassemblement National (RN), formerly the National Front, for the elections. A poll published on Sunday showed the two parties scored 22% and 21% of voting intentions respectively in the survey by Harris Interactive for RTL Radio, LCI Television and Daily Le Figaro. The poll, conducted on March 8 to 9, asked 1,090 French people which party they would vote for if the parliamentary elections were to be held the next Sunday. The EU elections determine who leads the key institutions, including the European Commission, the bloc's civil service, and are also important as an indicator of EU sentiment.